Hey Justin, how's it going?
Good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, not too shabby. So I just wanted to start off this interview by asking you a couple questions about your childhood. I want to know a little bit about your childhood and growing up, how that affected you, and all the stuff that comes with being a child.
Right, of course. It wasn't the easiest, and I mean, this subject that we're talking about is not the easiest for me either. I've actually, put that in the past behind me. I don't let it affect my future now, but growing up as a child was not easy for me. Both of my parents were divorced before I was even two. Uh, growing up as a kid, the arguments that they would have in between, the reason that is why they are divorced. It affected me growing up in high school, elementary. When I was in high school, I actually ended up dropping out due to the fact of not good parenting, both of my parents not being there for me, guiding me in the right direction to be successful. Me growing up, I ended up going to school from going to school to nothing. I was homeless basically. I was sleeping on the streets for 8 months. I ended up going to a foster house. I ended up getting in trouble with the law at times, to the point it was so bad that I had an ankle bracelet from 14 all the way to my 18th birthday. It was not easy. Summer sucked. You couldn't go swimming. You couldn't do anything. Hang out with your friends. It was tough. I didn't have my friends there for me neither. The type of friends I hung out was not the best for my future whatsoever. That's part of the reason why I got into the trouble that I did when I was younger. And now I am doing 10 times better. It motivated me to change my life. I wanted to change it for the better, not just for the sake of me, but to prove my parents wrong that I can actually do it and be successful in my life. I wanted to show them that I actually tried and put forth of the effort to change my life and for the sake of my daughter too. Um, I want my daughter to look up to me as like the best father and role model that she can improve her life when she gets older too and not go through the hassle and the stuff that I did as a child. I wouldn't want to put her in that situation. It has also changed my life for the better because I went to school. I went there for at Job Corps actually. It's called Fred G. Acosta Job Corps. It's a vocational and academic training. I went there for my academics and vocational, which I decided to pick collision repair. I got certified collision. I got certified for 2 AC Delco certifications, which those are like ASC certifications. They're just a knockdown of them. And I turned my life around for the better from there.
All right, well, thank you, Justin. I know that is not an easy topic to talk about by any means, and I really appreciate you telling me about that.
Of course.
Thank you. To continue this interview, I want to ask you another question about your childhood. How did you overcome this as a child and get through this to
Um,
become the person you are today?
Basically, I set it in my mind that I wanted to change. I wanted to grow out of the situation that I was in. I strived, pushed, and I just kept pushing until I got to where I was at today. I never gave up. No matter how hard it was, no matter how deep of a hole I dug myself into, I found a way to get out. And that for the better, and me always keeping that in my mind, shows that no matter how hard things get, you should always push and strive, no matter if you're at your lowest, no matter if you're dead broke, no matter if you're homeless, you always got to ask for help. It doesn't hurt to ask for help, and that's what I did. I asked for help, and it got me to where I am today.
Well, thank you, Justin. I know this isn't easy by any means. I've got a couple more questions for you. We haven't really talked too much about how you've made all your money since going through all this as a child. You made it in the stock market, and the stock market is not a very easy, what do you call it? thing to get into and be successful at. It's very up and down. You don't know if you're going to make money or lose money.
Correct.
So I just want to ask you, how did you get into the stock market, and how did you become so successful with the stock market?
Right. Basically, one of my buddies, his dad, kind of showed me the stock and the stock market, and I looked into it, and he kind of just showed me the little basics, and he was like, you got to do this, this, and this to basically grow your stock and grow it into something bigger and make more profit off of it and become more successful. And I took those basics and kind of just like I walked away with it, and I just kept going. I never looked back. It came to be most of the biggest things that affected my life to be successful. I ended up making tons and tons of money, and it was very, very easy and understanding, and it kind of just caught my eye, and I was like, wow, look, like this company is huge. I mean, back to where he was like, who doesn't like money? Like, I love money, and I looked at it and like, yeah, I mean, I love money too, and I really want to catch this, and it caught my eye, and I kind of just drove away with it and ran, and it kind of just inspired me and showed me from like my past, and I just got this opportunity to take this job, and I was just like, wow, I was very blessed and fortunate for this job.
Well, thank you, Justin. Thank you for sitting down and taking the time to talk to me. I want to ask you one more question. You said you had a daughter. How does having a daughter really motivate you to become better? How does that make you push harder to become the person you are and to show her how to grow up and live in the world we are in?
Well, I mean, you got to look at it as this. These young infants or toddlers or kids, they are our future now. They are going to be our future, taking on our last names or our generation. And I want her to grow up to be successful and make money like I did. I want her to basically strive, and the motivation of when she gets older, she looks up to me and takes that motivation that I have and the strive to be successful. It kind of motivated me because, for one, being an adult and a father and money, for one, it is not very easy taking care of a child. It is very expensive. It is a lot of money, a lot of money. And it strived me to do better in life, and she kind of put that effort in me, and that bond that I have with her just made me strive even more.
Well, thank you, Justin. Thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk to me about your life.
Of course.
I know it's definitely not easy, especially how your life growing up was so rough and difficult for you. For me, it's truly an inspiration to see people in the world that are like this, that never give up, no matter how shitty their life is. They just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and no matter how shitty it is, they just never give up. And I'm really thankful for that, and I really appreciate that.
Right. And I just wanted to say one more last thing. Just never give up. No matter how tough it is, no matter how hard life can get to you, always push. See what you can do better. And if it's not better, then you got to put your bestest, and you just got to keep going.
All right. Well, thank you, Justin. It was a pleasure talking to you today, and
Of course.
have a good day.
You too.